Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode on Chatting with Chasity. And on this episode, I have two special guests here with me. I would like for them to introduce themselves. Hi, I'm Christina.
Hey, I'm Sean.
And I wanted to bring them on for y'all to hear the beautiful love story that God has written for them. And so we're going to start with, how long have y'all been on each other?
We have known each other for 20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, 20 years. So can you tell us a little bit about your relationship journey? Because I know that y'all started out, a little younger and then had a little break and then got back together. Tell us a little bit about that little journey.
Yeah. So we met my last year in middle school, his first year in high school. It was December because I remember I was getting ready for a teen health ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at Sisters from Church, her house,
Mm-hmm.
Sheila, and I was getting dressed there. And she was like, "Oh, the guy who cuts my grass, he's pulling up. Let me go back here and get my money out my purse. Just if they come to the door, let them know,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there." So when I opened the door, I was expecting his dad, but it was him. And I was just like, she'll be here in a minute. And when she came to the front or whatever, she paid them, they left. And then when they left, I was like, "Who is that, Sheila?"
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Oh, it's this lady I work with, her son." And so I'm like, "Yeah, I need his number."
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we met. You have anything to add to that?
Of course. For me, it was just a random day going to pick up the payment for cutting grass. And when she opened the door, I didn't know she was younger. In my eyes, it was a grown woman that opened the door. And she'll tell you her formal dress was red.
Yep.
I remember a white dress. But as soon as I got back to the car, I was telling my daddy, like, "Man, you should have seen this woman that opened the door. Like, she was bad." So as soon as I got back home, I'm asking my mama, like, "Ask her who that was that opened the door." So I'm trying to find out more about her. And same time, she was trying to find out about me.
I know that right. Clock it. I'm sorry. Okay.
You goofy.
You remember the whole dress.
We dated. Yes, we dated. We talked. They gave us, exchanged the numbers, and then we dated for a little while. But he wasn't ready yet. I was already like in church and active in church and stuff. He was still out there a little bit, young boy. We were really young. Like I said, I was in middle school. He was in high school. So we didn't make it in middle school. We dated a little bit in high school, maybe just talked. But then we really, really got back together in college. So we dated for a while then, again, not really on the same level. It wasn't really more of the natural side of us not being ready, but more just not being equally yoked spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
So then we became separated. But then we were separated for 7 years before we got back together here recently. And then when we got back together, we dated for about 3 years before we got married.
Damn.
So that was our journey. But yeah, we've been knowing each other for 20 years.
20 years. Because y'all were 13 and y'all 30 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that answers my question I was going to ask next is who approached who first? And it sounded like y'all just both approached each other. And I know that's right. So, because you said y'all dated. No, okay. Did you answer how long y'all dated before you went from the high school? How long were you dating before you got married?
Before we got married. So when he came back after college?
Yeah.
So 3 years.
3 years. Yeah. 3 years before they got
when
married.
When he came back the last time, it was 3 years we dated, and then we got married.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are things that y'all do to make sure God stays in the center of your relationship?
Well, first we keep God first in our own lives, because you have to work on yourself personally before you can come together with somebody else. So I just make sure that I'm constantly growing my relationship with God personally. That way when we come together, we can always keep God first and in the center, praying together. Definitely we go to church together, of course. Just making sure that we seek God, even in being upset with each other. We don't really argue, I would say. We don't really argue. We have disagreements, but we don't argue. If it's getting to that point where we feel like we're about to, we usually take a break, go pray, or just take a minute. But yeah, definitely making sure that you're fasting and praying and keeping each other lifted up is very important.
I would say, what's your way of?
I kind of agree with it, and like she said, we were on different levels spiritually, and even with this last time me coming back, like I had grown, but the deeper you get into it, the more you have to grow, and just trying my best to stay focused. And that personal relationship, like she said, if I didn't have my personal relationship with God, then me and her relationship wouldn't go anywhere. So having that personal relationship with God definitely helped.
So with you, Sean, when did you know that Christina was the one for you? Like, how long did it take you to realize that's the woman I'm going to marry?
Well, when we were younger, I always felt like it was always her. That's how we always ended up back around each other. But this last time coming back, I had in my mind that I was going to be serious about it. And then with God on my side, he just showed me like, this is the one. This is where I need to be.
So, Christina, from your point of view, I know we always look at it as a man, always be like, oh, yeah, that's the one. But what about you? Did you know he was the one for you?
Yeah. Just a little, it'll take you back to the first day I met him. When I opened the door, I saw the husband that I have now and not the boy that he was. And I know that sounds crazy, but I literally did. Like when I saw him, I saw what he looks like now. Like just for example, he's slimmer than he was then. Like he was chunky face. You know what I'm saying? But he's slimmer now. I saw him in the man version. I didn't see him as the guy he was at that age, because the second time I actually saw him, I was like, my friend was like, there you go, Christine. I'm like, where? Like, that's not him. Like, that's not the guy I saw when I answered the door. Like, and she was like, Christina, yes, that is him. Because she went to school with him, so she knew him, but I didn't. And I'm just like, okay. Like, that was kind of weird to me, and I didn't understand it at first. But it's just like he said, we kept coming back to each other.
Right.
Like, it was always, no matter, like, we never really fell out over anything crazy. Right. That's what it was. Like, when we would break up or separate, it was never because we got into an argument or cheating. Like, it was just kind of, it was nothing like that. It was just kind of, we would drift apart. And like I said, it was being unequally yoked spiritually. But I always knew, like, that's going to be my husband. Like, I even said, like, I would say it, like, that's going to be my husband. No matter what happened or what went, like, I believed it in my heart that at the end of the day, we was going to be back together.
So, through your relationship, how are y'all able to get through temptation of sex before marriage? Like, what advice can you give other people that are seeking for marriage but have those struggles of going through like that, that little bump of what you gotta say? Okay.
Well, I honestly would just say, just make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position or a situation to where you want to have sex. It's okay to go out on dates. It's okay to, go to each other's houses, have movie dates, stuff like that. But when you know your limits, as people, we know our limits. If you know that spending the night with each other or wearing certain clothes or doing certain things are going to cause your flesh to start rising, avoid those things, because at the end of the day, it's about their souls and not their bodies. So just make sure that you're, one, not putting yourself in those situations, and two, if that's truly your soulmate, they're going to be more focused on your soul than they are your flesh. So if you're constantly battling that and not having somebody there with you to fight that with you or make those choices and decisions, even you can start praying, start having Bible study, bind up the spirit of lust. Like, there's certain things that you can do, because honestly, honey, I would. Your flesh is high and you can't calm down. Like, let's pray. Let's read the word. Like, it's okay to do that. And if they truly love you, they will stay.
Sean, what's your point of view from that?
My point of view on that is pretty much the same, but just like if she's worth it, then the wait is going to be worth it. You have to push herself to the side. Everybody has wants.
Yeah.
Like, but it was never a need. It was just a want that I really wanted. And if it was up to me, I wouldn't have been that strong because again, we were not equally yoked, but just her constant push of accepting that she's worth it, like accepting that she's more than that. That's what really helped me. Like, and it was well worth the wait.
Yes, because taking care of our bodies as women, even as men, is because it's God's temple, and we have to take care as men and women of God. We have to take care of our body because that's His body. At the end of the day, this is His temple. This is just the flesh. Like at the end of the day, so I feel like you say, we got to respect ourselves because that's like respecting God. Like if we give ourselves to just anybody, we disrespecting Him. We disrespecting ourselves. Like and soul ties. Like
definitely,
you know, you never know what that person may have, and then that enter into you, and then you wondering why you're going through. Like, so, and that's what I want to ask y'all. Like, when y'all get to know each other, what are things that you look for into your person? Like, characteristic wise, or like, just different like attributions. I think is what I don't know if I'm trying to. You want to go first?
I can go first. For me, I was raised in the church. I didn't always do church things, but a godly woman has always, since I've known what attractive, like a woman being attractive, being a godly woman has always been attractive to me. And like she was saying, she seen me as a grown man when we first met. She always pushed me to be a better man. Like, that's probably part of the reason why we separated when we did. I just wasn't ready to be what she needed. And just the love that she has and the love that we are able to share, that's everything.
Yeah.
And me, I look for a godly man. I look for somebody who can lead, you know what I'm saying? Lead a family, and not be dependent on me, but pushing me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be pushed forward too. But as a woman and being a single woman for so long, and then having my son being a single mother for so long, we get tired of being super women. Yeah. Like, we get stuck in that mindset of, I gotta go, I gotta do this. Like, there were times I worked 2 and 3 jobs just to be comfortable, not because, you know what I'm saying, just to be comfortable and make sure me and my son had what we wanted and needed. And when you look for a man, you don't want somebody else that's going to be another responsibility. You know what I'm saying? You don't want another bill, another mouth to feed, another, you know, you look for somebody who can add to what you have and lighten that burden. So a lot of times we look like we want somebody who can provide for us financially. But for me, I've always been able to handle that part. You know what I'm saying? But what I more so need is the load of taking off the pressure of, you know, just the weight of everything. But spiritually is so important because, you know, being in ministry, you need somebody who can pray you through. Somebody who is going to fast with you, somebody who's going to be able to push you spiritually. You don't want them just sitting back like, oh, go ahead now. You know, like, no, not go ahead now, because this is spiritual warfare. And you need somebody who's going to be able to cover you. You know, not him sitting on the back row and you sitting in the pulpit having to preach. Or, you know, him staying at home and you having to go to tarrying services. Like, you want somebody who's equally yoked with you so that they can help you to grow. Because if not, it's draining. It will pull you down. You need somebody who is going the same way that you're going. So it's very important that you stick with whatever you want and whatever you desire. And my desire is for a man of God to be able to lead our house and be what God has called him to be so that we can have what God has for us.
Yeah, because when you're going through, you're going to need somebody to help push you through, to pray with you.
Punishing and stuff, they get old. That's old. That don't solve, like, people think that, money or sex is that's not going to get you through a marriage. What's going to get you through a marriage is God. And if you don't have that relationship and that foundation, even when it comes to kids, like, these new kids are something else. Like, you really have to have that relationship with God, and you need that partner that's going to help you do that. If you can't help me, then what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point in us being together, causing more burdens on each other?
Exactly.
We got to come together so God can have his way.
Yeah, because I noticed in the new generation that it be females not wanting a guy if he don't have a lot of money, or that he don't take her to Ruth Chris or somewhere big. Like if he take her to McDonald's, then she gonna have a problem. But I feel like as in the generation that is now, we failed to realize that we got to look, like you say, godly man. It shouldn't matter what he got, because at the end of the day, that man might be rich for real, and you not even know it, because he testing you to go to McDonald's, and then here we go, he taking me to McDonald's, and it just like keeping God first, knowing if that man got a God in his life and he truly following after God and in that journey and that walk, I feel like he'll provide for everything you need for that relationship.
That's definitely what's more important.
Yeah.
Because if you really think about it, if he doesn't have, like, everybody can't start at the top.
Yeah.
Everybody hasn't had the opportunities to be financially stable, or, but if he's trying, but if you keep God first, everything else will line up. So as long as he know God, he's serving God, he's trusting and believing in God, and he's trying to be that man of God that, God created him to be, the rest will fall into place. Exactly. Like you said, everybody's focused on this fleshly, worldly stuff to where you can't get nowhere.
Yeah, and it's just so sad. But so from a man's standpoint, what advice do you have for other men that's, seeking for marriage or, courting, like?
My advice is just to be honest. Honesty goes the longest way. If you're trying to meet someone new, like when we meet people, we try to impress them, or we want to have things that impress them. And that's usually when the line starts. We'll stretch the truth, or if I don't like the way she does something, honesty should be at the forefront of that, because if we're really working towards building a marriage, she's going to keep doing stuff that way. And if I don't like it from day one, then day 200, I'm still not going to like it. So just being honest, and honest with yourself first, and then honest with your mate, and keeping God first. God will line all of that up.
Yes. So from a woman's standpoint, how do you prepare for marriage? What advice do you have for the women that's in the single and waiting season?
Well, my advice, first, get to know yourself, love yourself, and always keep God first and grow your relationship with God first. Because a lot of times we get in relationships and we're praying and we're asking God, this is the kind of man I want. I want him to do this. I want him to have that. Like, we have the list. But are we preparing ourselves to be the woman that he needs? So a lot of times I found myself praying, God, prepare me to be the wife that you created me to be. And also prepare my husband. So even before he came back and we got back together, I was praying. I wasn't saying his name, but the man that you have for me, God, be preparing him, because when we come together, everything will go, smooth. So it's just very important to first work on yourself and love yourself, because you can't let anybody else love you if you don't love yourself. And you can't love anybody else if you don't love yourself. So I would say work on yourself, your personal love, self-respect, confidence, and also make sure you keep God first and continue to grow your relationship with him. Once that's right and you get the man who's doing the same thing, y'all come together, everything is going to flow.
Yeah, so another question that I wanted to ask y'all, so you know how people, before they get married, they don't live together. So when y'all come together, how do you work through situations of trying to find that niche or that way of getting to live together with each other? Because it's like, maybe Sean was the type that he can come in, he can just throw his socks down on the ground and he'd be like, now I'm not used to that. Like, how do you, because, people be like, you got to live with your significant other before you get married, because how you going to know how they live? But, I mean, how do you know what I'm saying? What advice can you give for people that?
Well, we did live together for a little bit before we got married. Okay. Just for a little while, just a situational type thing. But we knew that was not going to be something that we were going to continue to do. I will say, almost everything feels like easier when it's wrong, if that makes sense. Like, how, So before we got married and he lived with me for a while, it was easier. Like, there wasn't really a lot of confrontation or whatever. We knew it wasn't going to be a permanent type thing. So when we actually got married, and moved in together and bought a house together, it was like, that's when I started noticing little stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff that will nitpick and make you mad. That's why I say it seems like stuff is easier when it's wrong, but it's just because the devil will try to make you comfortable. Yeah. You know, he try to make you comfortable and feel like, oh girl, it's okay, it's good. Like no arguments or nothing like that. Like, no, this is just temporary. It's not happening like that. You know, but once we got married, like you said, so I think it's just, I say it all the time, I think it's just a man thing or a boy thing. Like, they just do stuff different than women. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of times. And honestly, I had to get to the point, it's even like that with kids, though. It's not just men, it's kids. So I had to get to the point where, like, Christina, everything's not going to be perfect. Either you're going to be mad every day and just keep fussing about little small stuff, or you're just going to do it yourself and move on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you have to find a comfortable balance. And sometimes I just be like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it, and I'm just going to let it get to the point where it makes them mad. You know, like, it's just different little stuff. You have to get to know each other. Like, I'm the type of person who needs some quiet time when I get off work. And my son and my husband are like that. They don't need time to themselves. I do, you know? So I just be like, you have to give me time to bring it down from work to, you know, till I'm ready to be hugged or loved or talked. Like, but you just got to kind of learn each other. It's really just a process of learning what your partner likes, what they don't like, and being open to accepting that. Like, he can't get upset and mad at me because I need 30 minutes, you know, when I get off work. You can't be frustrated about that. Like, you have to respect that and look at it like, you know, if I was the one who needed that time, or, you know, if I don't like the toilet seat, you know, left up, or, you know, you just have to think about it and kind of see it from the other person's point of view and pick your battles. Like, if it ain't really that deep or ain't really that serious, like, what point are we arguing? You know what I'm saying? It's not worth making little arguments over simple stuff. But if it's something that really just grinds your gears, like, you talk about it. Yeah. Talk about it.
Yeah, and to second on that, like, there still are times where I know I do stuff that annoys my wife, but it's just a learning process. Like, I had to, like she said, kind of put myself in her shoes. And, like, she'll tell me stuff like, pick this up or do that. And at first I was taking it like, she's trying to fuss at me or kind of be like my mama, but my mama loved me. So I had to take it as, this is my wife trying to better me, or this is my wife trying to get what she needs from me. So if she's asking me to do something, it's going to help in the long run. Because like she said, she needs 30 minutes sometimes to get herself, but I'm ready to hug and love on my wife as soon as I come in the door. As soon as I see her. So you have to learn the other person, and you have to have patience with it. If you're, like she said, we don't really argue. I don't really see her or me going to that place because it's love. You have to meet each other with love in the first and foremost. So if you meet any situation with love, it'll work out. Just have patience.
So how do y'all avoid situations of confrontation, like arguing and stuff? Like, are y'all just a big couple on communicating it out, or you said you like 30 minutes after work? But if y'all get in an argument, are you the type of quiet? Or you?
Again, we don't really argue. We talk. Like, we talk to each other. I used to be the type of person, like, I used to just shut down. But when I got married, I realized, like, you can't just shut down. Because when I would shut down, then he would keep saying, like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Talk to me. And that would make me even madder. You know what I'm saying? So we had to, again, learn each other. But I had to make some adjustments and changes to how I handle stress or frustration. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't just shut down because, okay, Christina, you're married now. This is your husband. Like, you have to learn how to communicate with him. So I did. We don't do it consistently like we should. But I was like, we need to talk every week. Sit down and you take some time, write down stuff that's bothering you, things that are frustrating you, something you think need to change, something you think we might need to do, I'm gonna do the same thing. Then we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about it.
That's good.
Before you do that, you need to pray. You know what I'm saying? Before the conversation is started, pray and have an open mind and heart, because you might hear something that you did or something that happened and you don't know how you're going to react to it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have an open mind and heart and just be ready to receive and make sure that you're communicating that in a way of, I'm not saying this to hurt you, but I'm saying this because it's going to help us. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So just to do that weekly, I think is important, even with families. Like I told my son, like I'm going to get a notebook for all of us. And even if you can't say it to me, you can write it in that notebook and say, here, you know, I didn't know how to say it, but I wrote it. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Do you want to talk about it, or did you just want me to know something? Like being able to find ways to communicate, because when you're angry and you're upset, like if we start talking about something and we see that emotions are high or it's about to head in the wrong direction, okay, stop. We just walk away. We can revisit it later, because again, we don't argue. I think it's a good thing that we don't argue, because when you go to a certain level, sometimes it's hard to come down. So, but yeah, like I don't think I've ever remember a time that we ever argued.
Dang, we
don't argue. Yeah. We just talk, and I think it's good to have those weekly, or however you want to do it, bi-weekly, however you know, whatever works for each family. Just kind of do that so you don't get to the point to where you're arguing or holding stuff in. Yeah.
Because then when you argue, and then that stuff that y'all holding in that you didn't let go during that week, it's going to come out. And then like you say, y'all didn't get to pray about it, and you didn't get to say, okay, God, prepare. Then it's just going to go out of proportion where it need to go. And then so that's more
damage. It can cause a lot of damage, because something that I feel right now, because I'm hurt or I'm angry, I might not be able to express that to you in a healthy way. Right. So sometimes I tell him, like, don't force me. Like if he's like, something bothering you off, like what's going on? I can't talk about it right now. Okay. I gotta find my words. I gotta figure out how I really feel, and then we can talk about it. Okay. But if you just go off of your emotions because you're angry or you're hurt, being hurt is worse than being angry, honestly. You will say or do anything, and the next thing you know, y'all can be at the courthouse signing papers, because you can hurting somebody. Once you say those words, you can't put them back in your mouth. You're right. You know what I'm saying? Yep. The damage is already done. So I think just taking a beat and talking it out before you get to that point is something that we do to keep even from arguing. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's what I was going to say. That's good that he's able to know to give you a little time and then y'all talk about it. Because that's like couples that don't have God in their relationship, they may not know to tell God to help them. That's why there's probably so many divorces now in this generation, because they didn't put God at the center and they didn't know how to communicate because they didn't allow God to lead them. Right. Or they probably did it outside of God's will, and that's what happens. But that's why y'all love story is very beautiful, and y'all said some things that was very encouraging and helpful to me. But I was going to say, did y'all have anything else to say to them? Did you have anything to say to me or to question me about?
I don't think I really have any questions, but I would just encourage everybody to wait on God. Don't rush it. Don't feel like, it's okay to be out here dating. Just keep yourself. Just because you're dating somebody don't mean you got to have sex with them. Just because you're dating somebody don't mean, that your kids have to meet them or y'all have to move in together. Like, it's okay to take things slow. I know a lot of times people, and I can't even say men because women do it too, try to make you feel like you got to rush and move fast. And if you don't do this, then, you're not being serious or you're not ready to move forward with me. But it's okay. And just because you love somebody, it doesn't mean that y'all need to be together. Hear me. Just because you love somebody, it don't mean that y'all need to be together, because I've loved other people, but they weren't the right ones. You know what I'm saying? They weren't going to make the proper adjustments. They weren't going to give me what I needed. I love them, but that wasn't enough. Loving somebody isn't enough. You have to be willing to change some things about yourself. You have to be willing to accept some things from the other person. Like, just make sure that you are patient and that you wait on God. And like I said, keep yourself. Everybody doesn't deserve your body. This is for men and for women. Everybody doesn't deserve that intimate part of you. So holding off until marriage is very important, regardless of if you've already been sexually active or not. Holding off and refraining from doing that is very important, because just think of it. Everybody don't deserve you. This is our temple that God has given us. And we can't just give it and offer it up to any and everybody. So just make sure that y'all are keeping yourself, keeping God first, continue seeking God. Learn yourself, love yourself, and everything else will fall into place. I promise you it will.
Yeah. And for me, I just encourage everybody to not stop at doing better. That was, I ain't gonna say it was an issue we had, but it was definitely something that I went through, getting comfortable, like saying, well, I'm doing better than what I was. Like, why is that not good enough? But you can't stop at doing better. There's always more to do. There's always more to learn. So once you get to better, go for more. Like, keep going and keep loving, because, I mean, we're married. I know my wife, but I still have stuff to learn with my wife every day. Every day is going to be a new learning lesson. So just keep doing better. Don't stop at better. And just encourage everybody to stay focused on what God has for you. We all have our wants. We all want things, but what God wants for us is what's best for us. So just stay focused on what He has for you.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I was going to say that the love story that God has written for them, you know, how He has brought them together after their past, doesn't always mean that everyone's relationship from their past is supposed to be meant to be brought back together. But just knowing and praying and fasting and seeking and putting God first is how you will know that God has that person for you, or He'll bring that person to you. But I just want to say thank you all, and thank you too, most of all, for being here with me and sharing the beautiful love story that God has written for you guys. And I can't wait to see what else He has in store for them and their beautiful family. And I just pray that somebody is touched by this. And I'm going to always say that, because that's what this is for. It's for somebody to be encouraged. Somebody may need to hear this. And I just hope y'all stay tuned for the next episode with Chatting with Chasity.
Chatting with Chasity.